Okay, consider this. I'm in Sunbury and I live somewhere near Dandenong. That's a 1.5 hour trip one way just to get here. And this is my second trip here. So that's 1.5 hours up, 1.5 hours back, and twice. That's 6 hours of travel just for this job. And guess what? I've showed up here a second time because I found out that I needed these because they weren't supplied with the battery. And now, you know, I went and had a look. Oh yeah, Amphenol. So I went and got Amphenol. Plugs off this leftover leads from an L3 SS. Went down there and found out that they're too small. So it's the next size up apparently. So now what's that? Another trip? 1.5 hours up, 1.5 hours back. That's 9 hours of travel in a new vehicle that's cost me 283 Aussie dollars a week in repayments, plus the price of diesel during the closure of the Straits of Hormuz at $2 a litre. So whatever's the point I'm making is, if it's not engineered in the factory, it's going to cost 20, 30 times more on site. No kidding, that's no exaggeration. And that's not even including labour. Labour, again, if I'm supposed to engineer that of which is not engineered in the factory, now I'm going to make compromises. What if I didn't have these 25mm bootlace ferrules? I would have put flexible cables straight into that terminal and clamped down on it. What about these lugs? 25 with a 6mm hole. That's an unusual size. Most of them are 8 or 10mm hole. So if I put a 10mm hole over that 6mm screw, now we've got a potential for a hot spot. Look what I'm using here, 2 different sizes of heat shrink. Why? Because, again, I'm a tradesman on the road. I can't be expected to carry every specific electrical component in existence on the back of that truck. So what am I going to do? Drive all over town chasing for parts every time something doesn't, I don't have it? No. I'm going to take shortcuts to get the job done. So this could have ended up with just cables put straight in there. Could have had I don't know, maybe a 25mm lug if I'm lucky, with a 10mm hole there. This is already stiff cable. It's double insulated, flexible, so it doesn't really bend around there too well, and it looks pretty ordinary there too. So what I'm saying is, you've got to engineer in the factory as much as possible. So on site, the installer is not engineering anything. He's just installing. He's just assembling. So with this one, pretty much that's the only thing, is that isolator. If that came pre-assembled, and again, to avoid this nonsense, and you know, this is time consuming on site, I would also recommend to have these plugs go in there, just like on other competitors' models from there, and likewise out of this end to plug in there as a pre-assembled isolator, so that I don't have to worry about trying to find the right. They don't even sell these in wholesalers in Australia. I've got to buy that from AliExpress, I reckon, to match that. If it's not supplied, it's not going to happen. So that's pretty much it. And this inverter's over the line as far as and battery is over the line as far as what you need to get the job done quickly on site without screwing me around as an installer. Oh, this is the other thing. I'm going to have to muck around a little bit. A lot of inverters have this problem when it comes to the comms cable. I've got to join this here into an RJ45, and at the other end it goes into a terminal A and B, RS485A and RS485B. You say, well, why didn't you just put an Ethernet cable in there and cut the plug off and wire it in there? I'll tell you why, because it's 240 volts in there, and an Ethernet cable is not rated to 240 volts. That's why. So I've got to do this anyway, so it's time consuming. This is very fiddly. It would be better just to have A and B terminated somewhere in there behind a cover. So rather than an RJ45, then any 2-core wire. You could even use a lighting cable 2-core if you want. But so that's a little thing. It's not a big deal. What's the last thing, I guess? The plugs there. The plug for the backup or EPS or alternative supply is identical to the grid. Inevitably, some installers in a hurry he's going to plug it into the wrong plug and the inverter's going to get blown up. So there's only 3 things, but this is the major thing that needs to come pre-assembled with cables and plugs. This is a 5-minute job. If that came pre-assembled with this out both ends, into there and into there, it's a 5-minute job. Not a, what is it? So far, 9-hour job. So you got to get it right. And that's all I can say. You're 90% of the way there. All you have to do is bring that on pre-assembled. Job's done. Easy.